From the streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah, stripes, 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 orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every game day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers stripe the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping, nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo ball 'em, never stop it till the beast on feasting on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Kings of the North, home of the AFC champions, home of the team who will be playing in the Super Bowl in 4 freaking days, the Cincinnati Bengals. I cannot wait. Okay, let's calm down. We still got 4 days to go. But hey, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,490 subscribers. That is awesome. As always, I appreciate every single one of them. Now, if you guys are watching on Twitter or Facebook, especially Twitter, because Twitter, I've hit over 2,000 followers on Twitter, which is awesome. I appreciate that. And you watch it on Twitter, which is cool. Or you watch on Facebook, that's cool too. But can you do me a favor and go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there? It's Sports with Strawberry Ice. It's on YouTube. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. It costs you nothing, just helps me out. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat, we're doing super chats. So if you want to make sure your comment gets read or just want to support what I'm doing, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys. Like I said, we are 4 days away from the Super Bowl. I cannot wait. It's been a very, very fun year. Awesome football season. I mean, two of the things that I helped promote have actually taken off, which is awesome. I love it. The Jackpot Joey stuff is taking off. The Stripes video, the Stripes song, that I play at the beginning of the show every day. It's taken off. I don't know. They've got a ton of downloads. They got interviewed on Channel 9, which is awesome. And like I said, the Jackpot Joey stuff has even made it all the way to Boomer Esiason. Now, this is Boomer's morning show, Boomer and Geo. You guys can watch it. It's a New York-based show, but if you have CBS Sports Network, it's on there. And on Friday, Boomer and Geo are supposed to be wearing their Jackpot Joey stuff. So they are in support of the Jackpot Joey gear. They love it. And it's really cool that all this stuff is happening for things that I help promote. I'm very excited about it. Now, I have to give a shout out to my boy, Zim, who's come on the show multiple times. He's on the Orange and Black, or excuse me, I would do that every time. Orange is the New Black Insider podcast. His son, he sent me this video of his son enjoying his Jackpot Joey stuff. So I gotta check it out. And I hope I'm say his name right. It is. Oh, I gotta look because he just texted me to make sure I said it right. It is Uzi, as I think how you say it. Uzi. And if I said it wrong, Zim, I apologize. But Uzi, here's a shout out to you because I love this video. Check it out.
Jackpot Joey, shop. Jackpot Joey.
He's a cute kid. That's awesome. He's all into the Jackpot Joey stuff. I love it. So what's up to everybody in chat? Jim, Brandon, Samuel, William. I think Crown's in there. That's awesome. I appreciate all you guys being in there. And I want to give a shout out again to my man, Zim. I'll put his stuff in there. This is the link to his website that you guys can check out if you guys are interested in a whole lot of orange or any of that stuff. Check out Zim. He's got the Burrow Babies collection and all that stuff. So check him out. It's some really cool stuff. Ace is also, I think his stuff is on there. I'm not sure. Ace might be on a different site, but I know this is Zim's. But check their stuff out. It is awesome. Oh yeah, Crown. My bad, Crown. Sorry, Crown. I'm sorry. I didn't mention you. There you go, Crown. You're in here too. So anyway, like I said, 4 days away from Super Bowl 56. Now, I got this from Mo Egger. He tweeted this out. I guess he was on some radio show out in California or something. And this guy is talking about how great the story of the Los Angeles Rams are. And that's the story that everybody should be talking about, and how the NFL does not want the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl, which I think is complete bull bleep. The Cincinnati Bengals have a much better story than the Los Angeles Rams or the St. Louis Rams or whatever you want to call them. Because they keep moving around. The Bengals won 4 games last year. Zach Taylor is 625-1. We know all this stuff. So, figured I'd bring on my boy, Josh from Back Row Bengals, and we can discuss this and all things Bengals. Josh, what is up, brother?
Just number one, one of the greatest things that I've seen that I don't think we've mentioned yet is the fact that many of the Bengals community and the Bengals Twitter community that you and I know very well and know as friends are winning, and they're doing a lot of great things. You talked about Ace and Zim. You talk about you and Maddie doing Jackpot Joey. You talk about Tigress Talk. Getting a sponsorship deal from Birmingham Meat or Birmingham or something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Doing the King of the North. You got Bengals Gym just absolutely exploding. Captain Obvious is all over the place. And it warms my heart. And it shows how important sports is to this city. And it shows how important winning is to this city. And when something like that fan rally comes around, where we have 30,000 people in the stands and it sells out in 20 minutes. And, the Bengals, I think, did a great job and a great idea making it free. I think that was easy money. That was a great idea. But to show the difference between our pep rally, which was 30,000 strong in a stadium with a fireworks show and going absolutely insane. I was jumping on your back. We were going crazy. I about threw your back out. But to see it comparison to the Rams, in like a high school stadium in BFE that nobody really knows about, and they only had like 300 people there.
Yeah, they only invited the season ticket holders. That's all they invited.
Yeah. So again, when you go back to years prior, when people are saying you got to sell the team, if they move, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. this is a year that shows how important that winning is. And it shows how important having a team where that they're bought in and they have guys like Joe Burrow and they have guys like, they have a culture in that's winning and that adopts blue collar type of blue collar type of mentality. And it's just so important. It's amazing to watch the city of Cincinnati explode the way that it has.
And it's awesome, dude. And it's like you said, all of us on Twitter or doing these podcasts or whatever, none of us are against each other. We're all hyping each
Mhm.
other up. We're on each other's shows. And don't forget about Orange and Black Insider
Yep,
podcast with
right.
Anthony Kazinza and John Sheeran. Which Anthony has got the opportunity. He's out there. Well, he lives out in LA, but he's actually a part of the Super Bowl media. I've heard him
Mhm.
on different press conferences where he's gotten to ask questions to Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor and Jamar Chase and all these guys. And I'm like, that is awesome. So
Mhm.
it's all because of one, the Bengals had a great year. If
Yep.
the Bengals didn't have a great year, none of this would be happening. They had a
Right.
great year, but it's also that it's a family, and that's what I've said about being a Bengals fan and being on in Bengals Twitter. It's all family, man. There's
Mhm.
no jealousy. We're all pulling on the same thing. We want the
We're all
Bengals to
pulling
win
on
the
the
Super
same
Bowl.
thing, Jeff.
But
We're all
pulling in the
pulling
same
on the
direction.
same
How's
thing.
that? Pulling in
Yeah.
the same direction. What?
Yeah.
You had to
Just like
go there,
that.
didn't you, Josh?
Why would you even have me on if you didn't think I was gonna go there? Like, then what was the point of bringing me on? But anyway, yeah, Jeff, you nail it on the head. Just we're all in this together, and just years of not having this type of national recognition, and when we finally do, and the attitudes don't change, and the personalities don't change, and nobody's bigger than what they think they are, or or what they are, and everybody's so still down to earth. And I mean, you and I are all at Bengals Gym tailgate a lot before the games, and he did a special with Kay Adams about
Yeah,
the toy tribe, and he's all over the place. And then after that gets done, he walked over to you and me. He's like, "Man, that was really freaking cool, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "Oh
exactly.
my god, but it's so much fun." And talk about guys like Tony the Tiger going all over the place too.
Right.
But
Mhm.
anytime you go and see him, he gives you a giant, big old hug. He's got them weightlifting arms too, so
Yeah,
he squeezes you in real tight. So,
that's my
and
dude right there.
oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, it's great to see, and then also it's great to have chats and do podcasts like go on yours, and you have a very dedicated fan base that I love hearing comments from, and I love when they trash us or when they're agreeing with us because we're all watching the same thing and we're all in it for the same reason. I was talking with Cap a little bit yesterday about how when we have been criticizing the team and criticizing the organization, it all comes from usually a place of love for this
Right.
team and a place
Right.
of love for the city of Cincinnati and a dire need to win. And we've all, suffered through it. Jim Schroeder just brought it up. We've all suffered together. So now when we celebrate together, it's just that much sweeter. And I do have my jackpot Joey Burrow hat on,
I see
obviously.
that. I
Yep.
like that. I like that a lot.
Well,
Now I'll get huh?
hopefully I'm not done with stripe hype yet because I do know that I will be working on Wednesday when we get that big old fat ring on our finger. So I do
Absolutely,
know
man.
that, but so I'm breaking a little bit of rule, but I'm on my own stuff. So I mean, yeah,
No,
gotta
Fansider's
support
not
the
going to
team.
see this. I'm not as big as you. I'm not on Fansider. I
Oh,
just
stop.
do my own stuff.
Oh God, yeah. All right, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah.
Let's get to
All the 5 people that have fucking read my. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say the F word. All the 5 people that are, read my blogs, all my students. Sorry, by the way, if you guys heard that, Mr. Miller did not mean to say that.
There's lots of people reading your stuff. I read your stuff all the time.
I
All
love
right,
you.
I think this is really cool. Bridget goes here. Did you guys hear Gronk wants to play with Jackpot
Mhm.
Joey? They asked him now that Brady is gone, who he would want to play for. He only said the Bengals. Now, there's been people on there saying, "Oh, Gronk is old. Gronk is this." But look, I'm not even going to even talk about if I want to get him or not.
Mhm.
Of course I would. I'll just say this. Yes, I would. Yeah, if Gronk wants to play, but I think Gronk's going to retire. But
Yep.
my point is, that's the first guy of many
Many.
in this offseason and the next off seasons to come that want to come to Cincinnati because of Jackpot Joey Burrow.
Mhm.
So get used to it. We're going to hear
Yeah.
lots of guys say they want to come here.
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and I do want to get specifically into Gronk himself because I do want to talk about like the actual logistics of how that could work and how I do think in the offseason, if Gronk is wanting to play, I do think the Bengals should make a push for him And I do think that we could get him on a pretty team-friendly deal because, and again, we'll get into that. But you talk about the free agencies now wanting to come and play for the Bengals and play for Jackpot Joey because they've understood that this is a culture that is embracing the grit, embracing the grind, embracing, not the way that Urban Meyer embraces the grind, but embraces that mentality of, yeah, we do play in the toughest division in football. Yeah, we are going to have, tough games. And yeah, we are going to have to grind out wins in a very physical style of play. But this is what winning does. This is what having a culture change does. And now we're going to really see it. And we talked about, 44 million under the cap. I mean, if we can start next year with about 10 to 15 million under the cap, we are probably set up to go to the Super Bowl for the next 5 to 7 years. I am.
Oh
calling
yes,
it.
we
I'm
are
calling it.
Oh yeah, we're Super Bowl contenders for the next 5 to 7 years. That is definitely going to happen because they're going to fix the offensive line. So I'm not, and that's the one gaping hole in this team. And they've gotten to the Super Bowl without fixing it. So
Yeah,
they are
right.
just think how good it's going to be when they fix it. Now I want to get to real quick here. I want to get to Brandon's question. He said, where can you watch AC interview Joey B? Well, the only thing is you have those Zoom calls that that they all do. They've been doing all day. You got to watch the whole freaking Zoom call. It's on Facebook or it's on your Bengals app or whatever. And I don't know when he asks. He gets like one question, and Anthony asked a question to Joey B, and he asked one to Zach. So it wasn't an actual one-on-one interview that AC had, but he was in there with the rest of the media.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
And that's so cool that like one of us is now starting to break away, and then that's what you just want to see, and you keep seeing guys that love this team, have been doing it again like you and I do it, like we just kind of are just idiots on a microphone talking, and we love it. But now we're starting to break through, and you just love seeing your team win, and that's not only just the team itself, but it's the community around it. So I do want to go to a little bit of the Rob Gronkowski coming here next year because I think that's a very interesting aspect of this free agency. So if Gronk does want to come back and play, one of the best things about Gronk's game, he might be one of the best tight ends in history, is his red zone offense and how reliable he is inside of the red zone. That is something that the Bengals have really struggled with. And it seems like that, Gronk really fits that role. And I love CJ Uzama. And I tolerate Drew Sample, but if you could double that up instead of CJ Uzama and Drew Sample, if you could have CJ Uzama and Rob Gronkowski, sorry, I don't know who's stopping you at the tight end position.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who's stopping you.
Like I said, I would love it. I'm never going to say no to Gronk, but I personally don't think he's going to play next year. I just don't think he's going to play. To be honest, that's my personal opinion. I don't think Gronk is going to play again. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
I think that, here's the thing is that the Bengals again next year have a very legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl again. He might come back for a year to get one more ring. That's what I would say that Rob would do. And maybe that he can do that because of kind of how Brady and Belichick did. They separated so that they can have their own legacies. Maybe Gronk wants to split away from Brady and have his own legacy for, maybe getting a ring outside of having Tom Brady as his quarterback to show how versatile he is as a tight end target with any quarterback, let alone, the GOAT.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, just to let everybody know, we got a Rams fan in the chat, so be nice to him. It's all right. He thinks
it's not all right, but you can come in here.
Hey, come in. Hey, I welcome everybody. You come in. He said they retired Tom Brady. Yeah, okay, yeah. He retired after he played you. That's cool. Go Rams. You're gonna win.
Having 7 Super Bowls, I don't think there's much more he can accomplish. I don't know if his single.
I don't think him losing to the Rams really had anything to do with him retiring.
Yeah, right. It's like when the Undertaker retired after Brock Lesnar beat him. It's like Brock Lesnar didn't do that. The Undertaker's like 50. Like you think he can just keep taking like pile drivers over and over
Undertaker,
again?
He comes up from the dead. Okay, he's a dead man. He still might make a comeback. Okay, Josh.
I'm telling you, he's in the top 5 of all-time athletes, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about how dominant the Undertaker was, and we want to talk about showing up in prime time. The WrestleMania streak is the ultimate streak that will never be beaten. I think the only one that could be closest is Joe Burrow, because we talked about it a little bit before the show. Joe Burrow is 7-0 in playoff games. 7-0 from college to the NFL. 7-0. That's not nothing. And we talk about Again, we talk about Justin Herbert's arm talent. We talk about Patrick Mahomes' ability to make a play. How about the ability to win in prime time and win when it matters and making the plays when it's the clutchest, when you're not having the best day and when your offense isn't having the best day, but still going out and finding a way to get it done. Taking 9 sacks and getting back up 10 times to throw that final pass to Jamar Chase to put us in field goal range is really where it matters.
Yeah, Royal Flush Terry here's got a great comment. He said, there's only 200 Rams fans, so we can tolerate one of them.
So, Rams fan, I got a question. So, before the Rams moved to LA, before they did, who was your favorite team? There you go. That's the question I got for our Clippers fan there.
Yeah.
I gotta know. So maybe when he pops up
His
later.
name's Kyle. There you go, Kyle. He says, "Go
Kyle.
Clippers, go Rams, go Kings, and go UCLA." Which, by the way, you took our coach again for the Bearcats.
Yeah,
but so you're welcome. Just
the last time we went over to UCLA, I believe we were 4-0 against them in both football and basketball.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think Cincinnati. It's the University of Cincinnati, Los Angeles, I believe now, right? It's that's ours now. It's like kind of how it's like the University of Cincinnati, Florida, down in UCF.
Right. Yeah,
I believe we've already claimed that. That's
claimed
anyway,
it.
So you kind of talk about the story of the Rams versus. I know I'm kind of taking your position of the host. I apologize about that, but you kind of talk about the story.
Hold on, real quick. He says he doesn't care about football.
But you're just getting a football podcast,
right? Why are you on
a football podcast? Not only a football podcast, the opposing team's football podcast. I don't even do that. I don't do that. But I appreciate it though.
Cool, man.
You're welcome anytime. We got a Georgia fan in here. We talked Bearcats the entire time he was here.
That's Doggy. That's my boy. He's become a Bengals fan. Hey, Kyle, man. Doggy was a Georgia, or he's a Georgia fan. He's not a Cincinnati fan, but he's become a Bengals fan because he watches our show. Hey, Kyle, stick around. We might turn you into a Bengals fan, man.
We have a good time, man. We're fun. We have a good time. It's fun.
So anyway, I messed you up. Go ahead. Talk about the Rams story and versus the Bengals story.
So one of the biggest things that came up today when Mo Egger was on, I believe, Rob Peterson's daytime show over in LA was the storylines that are going into this game. And now there's a ton of storylines you can go over, and none of them are bad, and none of them are disinteresting. The Rams storyline is very interesting. This is their all-in year. They threw a lot of money in free agency. And then on the Bengals side, I mean, again, I talked about it with Cap yesterday. We love this, and we love everything about this. However, we're not supposed to be here. We are not supposed to be here.
We're at least a year or two ahead of what the experts said.
Right. Yeah. We are a year or two ahead, and I would say probably we are a year ahead. And we called it before this year when we would have our pregame show, our preseason shows, and we called it. We said like this is a year away. Like, yeah, we're going to be competitive. We called 10-7.
I thought we make a play. I thought we had a shot at making the playoffs. I did.
Yeah,
I really did think that.
Yeah, I thought if we could make it into the playoffs, we would win at least one playoff game. But then obviously playing at Tennessee or playing at Kansas City or playing at Buffalo was going to be a very tall task for a team that got beat to the Jets. The freaking Jets, which I'm so angry at that still. Got beat to the Jets, got beat to the Bears. Like, yeah. But
exactly.
But they've shown up, man, and they keep showing up.
I just get it to the story here. It's the Rams all-in year, which this isn't the first time they did this. They did this the last time they went to the Super Bowl. They were all in and got a whole bunch of guys, and that's what they've done this year. You know, they got Matthew Stafford. They got I always want to say Von Bell, but that's because he's our
Von Miller.
Von Miller, thank you. They got Von Miller. They already had Aaron Donald, which Aaron Donald, by far, I think he could be the best player in football. I mean, honestly, I would say
he could be. Yep.
So it's their all in year, and yes, it's great that the NFC Championship game was in their home stadium, and the Super Bowl's in their home stadium, which they're not the first team to do it. The Buccaneers did it last year, as far as playing the Super Bowl. But the Bengals, Zach Taylor was 6-25-1. We won 4 games last year. We have a crappy offensive line that everybody says we're going to get Joe Burrow killed. Jackpot Joe Burrow's coming back from a knee injury. We got a rookie wide receiver who has destroyed the league. And this guy told Mo Egger that the NFL doesn't want the Bengals in the Super Bowl. He's freaking crazier than hell. Of course they want the Bengals. Of
Yeah.
course they want jackpot Joey Burrow. The youngest. Look, if Joe Burrow wins, or excuse me, when Joe Burrow and the Bengals win the Super Bowl, he's been the first quarterback to win the Heisman, win a national championship, and a Super Bowl. Nobody's done that. It'll be the first one.
First
so
one.
Drew Brees is gone. Peyton Manning is gone. Tom Brady is gone. You don't think they want to promote a second-year quarterback who, honestly, this is the first year starting the entire year. First year starting the whole year, made it to the Super Bowl. You don't think they want to promote that? I mean, come on. They promote the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't want to hear this small market crap because Pittsburgh's small market too. If you win and you can make the NFL product interesting and fun and cool, and sorry, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all these guys are pretty damn cool. They're going to promote you. So don't give me this that they don't want. LA fans think that they don't want the Bengals. Everybody else in the entire country is rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals. Barely anybody's rooting for the Rams.
Yeah, and we can talk offensive storylines for the Bengals all day long. I mean, there's plenty of them, but one of probably my favorite of the game is going to be the Bengals defense versus the Rams offense. I think that's going to be where it's the biggest. The Bengals defense has shown time and time again that they're able to shut down top tier offenses. They did it against Kansas City twice. They've done it twice. And then they've done it all year. And then in the playoffs, where it matters the most, they come out and they make a gigantic play to end the game and have 3 games in a row in the playoffs where the defense ends their day on an interception to give the offense a chance to win. And one of them was to win the game. Then, I mean, I don't know how you look at this defense and you're like, oh, yeah, Matthew Stafford's going to tear him up. Like, I don't think there is. I've seen Matthew Stafford throw up some ducks, man.
Oh, dude,
ducks.
I rewatched the game against the Sucky Niners, and there was one pass. I don't know how in the world the Sucky Niners did not intercept it. It should have been off.
How are you? You go with the Sucky Niners? You really couldn't go with the 69ers? Like, that is so much funnier. Like, come on.
No, because they suck.
Yeah, I know. And the other one they do too. Yeah, the other one they do too. Yeah, what are you talking about? It all means the same thing.
Anyway,
you're right.
It's my show. I call them Sucky Niners.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, you're 100% right. And you're dead on the money.
Now, I'll put this up here. Haas talk about I love Big Wit, but Henderson has to put it on him the whole game to wear him out. Now, one thing I wish I would have got this video. Now, this was awesome. I don't know if you saw this or not, but I think it was Channel 9 here in Cincinnati tweeted out a video of Witt's wife and family jumping up and down and cheering. And you're like, oh, that's probably when the Rams, won the NFC Championship game. And then they pan out to SoFi Stadium and there's no game going on. Well, they come back to the TV. They're watching the Bengals. The Whitworths are ecstatic that the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, which I mean, I love Witt. I mean, I
love Witt.
Yeah, I think Witt. I don't think Witt ever wanted to leave. I mean, it was a huge mistake.
He didn't.
On the Bengals part for letting him go. I love Andrew Whitworth. He is one of my all-time favorite Bengals. But yes, I agree with Haas. Henderson has got to wear him out. There's the last time Henderson went against him, he was with the Saints, and I think it was 2 years ago. He had a sack, and I think Witt gave up like 5 pressures. So there's a chance that Henderson can ball out in this. But Witt is still a good offensive lineman. So I love Witt. I hate that I have to root against him, but I don't know if you guys saw that video. That video was awesome.
We're going to really find out how good Trey Hendrickson is. And we already know that through the regular season and through the postseason, he's been killing it. But now we're about to find out, okay, you have a probably Hall of Famer, borderline Hall of Famer in Andrew Whitworth, and you got to get to him to win the Super Bowl. This is it. This is the big money here. And so we're going to really find out, can Trey Hendrickson put on enough moves? Can he have enough gas in the tank where he can take on a Hall of Fame veteran like Andrew Whitworth? And you go back to when you said, like, I don't think Andrew Whitworth wanted to leave either because he didn't make it sound like it. In the Bengals front office, again, it's this huge transition of how crazy and how big of a turnaround this is in 2 years. The Bengals let Witt walk. They did. No. They let him walk. They lowballed him, and they looked him dead in the face and said, "We don't think you can play football anymore." And that was a big, big miss. So now,
let's do this way too. The money that the Rams gave him, I think the Bengals were trying to sign him, but the money the Rams gave him, the Bengals were not going to pay him. He was almost 40. You know, he was in his late 30s. We all know the Bengals, just like it or not, they don't pay a lot of money for offensive linemen. I'm hoping that's one thing that will change here. They have paid a lot of money for other people in the past 2 years. So I'm hoping this offensive line not paying them changes. So I don't know if it's necessarily that they didn't think he was good enough. They didn't want to pay what the Rams paid him. That's a good thing. And another thing too is Jim here says Witt has also been injured this year. Yeah, he had some injuries. I'm not sure off the top of my head what they are.
He's old. I mean, he's old. It just is what it is. I mean, playing at the high level that he does, and at the elite level that he does, at the age that he does, he's got to be able to. He's going to have a game off every now and then, and that's what you get when you sign a guy like you sign like Andrew Whitworth, but he's still going to come out full on ready to beat some ass, and Trey Henderson's got to find a way to get around him now. I mean, it's just I lost my train of thought, so
I'll just jump on this real quick.
Yeah,
the thing about Trey Henderson, there are times where he looks like an absolute freaking psycho on the field. I literally think he just like blacks out, zooms
well, he
out.
he says that he blacks out sometimes. They say it happens in practice too. Like he just gets way too intense, and that's a guy that you freaking love to have on your defensive line.
I mean, and if you watch the replay of the Kansas City game, I watched it, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 times already. If you watch him and Sam Hubbard, they were done. They gave every single ounce of effort they had. And Trey Henderson, you got to watch out because he's had some back issues because he did have to miss a couple, not drives, but a couple plays on that last drive that they end up, the one where they sacked Mahomes. They ended up getting the strip sack. He missed like 1 or 2 plays there because his back was seizing up. So that's another thing that we have to watch out for Trey. Hopefully his back holds up this whole time because they're going to play a lot. I mean, with Larry Ogunjobi out, BJ Hill's got to play. So it's going to be the same way it's been the last 2 games. They're going to have to play a lot. But just watching those guys give their full effort as much as they gave as much as they can. And that's where I guess my point is with Whit. As Trey Henderson is younger, and I think he's just in a zone right now that defense ends love, you strive to get into. This is kind of year he's had, and I do think he's going to make a difference in this team or in this game. And it's like Quentin Spain said. He goes, as far as blocking there, he goes, it's our 5 versus their 4. He said, we just got to protect it, which he's right, which is, yeah. Everybody's like, well, duh, of course you do. But that's what they just have to step up and protect. And they've done it for the most part. I mean, yes, we all know they had 5 or 9 sacks at Tennessee. And there's a very good chance that we could have a lot of sacks against the Rams. But what I've said yesterday on my show is I really think going against Tennessee was a blueprint for going against the Rams. And hopefully Zach Taylor, because the front fours are very similar. I mean, Aaron Donald is a beast. He's a beast, but they're very similar. So since they've already played in Tennessee, gave up 9 sacks, I think there's a good chance that Zach has got a good game plan for getting around that. And if you notice last week, they threw a lot of screens, more screens than they have, I think, all year, and they worked. I mean, Samaje Perine screen pass was the first touchdown of the game. Mixon had a couple of really good screen runs. So I think they got some stuff that they're going to mix in to help out the offensive line as well.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be one of the most technological and thought-provoking games of the year with 2 great minds. Zach Taylor versus Sean McVay, of how they're going to play against Aaron Donald. So you mentioned, we're probably going to see a lot of screens. We're probably going to see a lot of stuff to alleviate the pressure. But now the Rams defense is probably thinking exactly that. So how is Zach Taylor going to readjust back to when the screens don't work? What are you going to do when you have to go one-on-one with that defensive line? Now, I do think the Tennessee Titans defensive line is better than the Rams in terms of a unit, but obviously the Rams have the best defensive lineman in the game right now. But I think as a unit, this Tennessee's got a better defensive line. So you're going to find out how good this offensive line is blocking one-on-one. You're not going to see as many stunts. You're going to see a lot of just bull rush and get after the quarterback from the LA. So it's going to be very interesting. I am interested to see if they're going to have Joe Mixon block more. They're going to have Samaje Perine block more, because Mixon is really pretty good at blocking the pass. And Samaje Perine every once in a while, maybe it's because he's out there to block more, but he does miss some assignments. So it's going to be interesting how they're going to block that and where they're going to put the running back on those passing situations.
Exactly. Speaking of blocking, I just want to let Dennis here, for some reason, thinks that he's blocked on my show. Dennis, you're not blocked. You're in the show.
You just commented.
So yeah, you're commenting. You're unblocked, buddy. So.
Love you, Dennis.
So you are unblocked, brother. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, oh yeah, this is another good point. And this is one thing that I think is another thing that we have in our pocket, that Zach Taylor knows Sean McVay. I mean,
he also knows Matthew Stafford too. He coached up Matthew Stafford for a long time. When he was in where did Stafford go to college?
He went to Georgia.
That's right. Yeah, when he was in Georgia. Where was that? You keep talking. You keep talking. I gotta look
because
Zach Taylor was Matthew Stafford's coach for, I believe, at least 4 years
at Georgia. Because Stafford or Zach coached at Texas A&M with his father-in-law.
You keep talking. I'm looking this up.
Okay, I'll keep talking. All right, let's go to Royal Flush Terry. We can't afford to have a lackluster first half and have to have explosive second half. Yeah, and that goes back to what Joe said earlier today. He said he wants to start quick, which obviously he does. And I agree with you, Terry. We have to keep it close. I mean, because I got a feeling we are going to fall behind. We fall behind in every playoff game except the Raiders game. We just can't fall that far behind because, like I said, that play by Eli Apple that stopped Tyreek Hill from scoring at the end of the first half was huge. That kept us in the ballgame. If they score there, I don't know. We're already down 18. I don't know if we come back. So that the keeping it close is a big thing. And yes, if we can start off fast, that would be great. I don't know if that's going to happen per se because of the Rams
I got
front four. What do you got?
Yeah, I got it. By the way, speaking of which, it wasn't Roy Flush Terry just brought it up. It wasn't Zach Taylor. It was Brian Callahan, who was the coach for Matthew Stafford when he was in Detroit. That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
Yes.
So,
okay, there you go.
So that being said, this coaching staff does have familiarity with each other, and that's why I think it's just going to be so. If you're a fan of really good coaching and just like how the game is being played and the constant chess match that's going on, this is going to be a great game to watch. So. It's gonna be something that I believe is going to be won within the headset. That's where this game's gonna be won. And again, both teams are great. I have no hate for the Rams. I think they're a great team.
I have a hard time hating them when Whitworth's on their team.
Right. Exactly. You nail it. And if they were going against any other AFC team, I would be cheering for the Rams. I would, because I do want Andrew Whitworth to get into the Hall of Fame because he would definitely go in as a Bengal and he would get a ring, and it's something he definitely deserves.
Yeah, and I feel bad that we're going to keep him from that because we're getting that.
Right. Yeah, I
mean,
right.
Bengals report here said, and I agree with Bengals. He said it could be 10-7 at halftime. I don't know if it'd be that low scoring, but it could be very, very close. I think at halftime.
I think that has more merit than what a lot of national media and a lot of media is giving it credit for. I do think that there is a chance that this game is going to be very low scoring. Like we said, these are two very, very good defenses, and like we said, we have seen. Joe Burrow and that offense get stifled, and we've seen it in the playoffs. We've seen Matthew Stafford struggle. We've seen the Rams struggle on offense. I believe that there is a lot of merit to this game going under and might even be significantly under. That's why I think just the chess matches between the coaches is going to be so important.
Well, let's just go. Or hold on, let me get to Terry's point here.
Yeah.
Great. Eli Apple practiced against OBJ in New York with the Giants, which is I said, I forgot about that. So Eli's got time against OBJ, so that's good too. Now, the thing is, what I was going to say is you have to look at the Rams versus the Buccaneers game. The Rams, they almost damn near gave that game away.
Yes,
I mean, with the snap over Stafford's head, I mean, I thought the Buccaneers were going to come back and get them. I really did. And that's the thing with this Rams team that the Bengals don't do. In this playoff run, they don't make mistakes. If they do, they're very minimal. I mean, they're not huge ones, and they don't pile on top of that. The Rams, it's kind of like a snowball. They'll make a mistake, and they'll make another mistake, and most time they get it under control, and it hasn't hurt them. Yeah. But that's where I'm saying I think Stafford can throw us the ball. They're gonna have some issues. I think our mindset, our mentality of our players is stronger than theirs, to be honest.
Yeah, and you talk about mistakes that have been made, especially mistakes that have been made in the playoffs. One of the things that the Bengals do and the Bengals defense do the best, which I think it should be a stat, is limit disaster. Is that when we do have those turnovers like we had against Tennessee, or we do have an interception thrown by Joe Burrow against Kansas City, which was definitely offsides, by the way. But the defense has been able to limit that disaster to either a field goal or to just keep them out completely. And they've been able to do that. And being able to limit disaster will win you football games in the NFL. It's what the Bengals have done all season.
If you win the turnover battle, in which the Bengals have won the turnover battle in every playoff game,
They've
you're
killed
going to
it.
win. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're 99. I don't know what the percentage is, but 95, 97% of the time you're going to win. Now this is kind of interesting from Foxy. He said the Simpsons projected in 1999 that we beat the Rams 34-31, and they haven't been wrong yet. So,
Hey,
all right.
man. Hey,
We'll see.
man. Hey,
Hey.
man.
I
Go
like
with
it.
the Simpsons. Go with the Simpsons always. That is a life lesson right there. They predicted quite a bit. They predicted a presidency that's getting talked about in your comments, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Everybody's you got a whole bunch of Trump people in here. That's cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you always got to have politics, obviously,
I-
just to make everything
Yeah,
just so
I don't-
sync and everybody loves it.
Yeah, I
Let's
don't.
talk politics.
No,
you
I
know?
no, I don't. No, I don't discuss politics.
Let's bring
on here.
religion up next after
No,
that.
no.
Let's do that next show.
Damn it, Josh! It's just football, okay? All right. Let's see here.
good
Brandon says yes. This will be a 24-20 type of game. Yeah, and I've said this. I think it's going to come down to a field goal or a touchdown game. And again, we've had 2 of our 3 playoff wins come down to a shooter field goal, and I would not be shocked if that happens again. And again, we had the better field goal kicker. And I'll put this too, as far as the offense go. Yes, they have Cooper Kupp. Yes, they have OBJ.
Great offense.
I think we got a better offensive weapons in general. Chase,
Yeah, I agree.
Higgins, Boyd, Mixon. And their running back is good too as well, but I don't think they're the same as ours. Now their offensive line is better than ours, but I just think as a whole, and our quarterback is better, obviously. I think that's where we get them at. And our defense, and I got to give credit to Lou Anarumo, he always comes up with something. They make second halftime adjustments. And I know some people say it's not that big of a deal for half or second half adjustments. But the thing is, it's not like they go into halftime and all right, screw that, we're going to do something completely different. It's not that. It's they adjust a little bit here and there. It's kind of like when they went from rushing 4 to rushing 3 and dropping everybody else back in the second half, and it completely frustrated and confused Patrick Mahomes. Those are the things that Lou has done. So that's where I'm like, this team is really good at halftime adjustments too. So I don't know. I just think we got the edge in a lot more things than people are giving us credit for.
You take away the top part of each unit on the Rams offense and you compare it to the Bengals offense and you take away the top part of each unit, you still look at, you're probably going to side with the Bengals in terms of who's better. Okay, so let's take away Cooper Kupp and let's take away Jamar Chase. Let's take away those 2 things. So then you got OBJ versus T Higgins. Personally, I'm going T Higgins. I think T Higgins is stronger. I think he's not as fast. Maybe doesn't have that big a playmaking ability, but we talk about just being able to get the yards when you need it. And that's where T Higgins comes into play. Then you get Tyler Boyd, same thing. And I want to go into what Bridget and Greg Graves just said, because I've been having this thought before.
This one?
That one right there. So they said Shooter will win it for us and be the MVP. I'm making a hot take.
No.
I think now I'm about, this is pretty hot. I would not be surprised if Evan McPherson wins the Super Bowl MVP. That is, you can get him at.
I would.
It's
I would
never
find out-
happened.
Yeah, if Adam
It's never
Vinatieri
happened.
can't win it and he won it, I don't know.
Listen,
I would be
listen to me. Listen.
Yeah.
We've seen this Bengals offense, get to the red zone and struggle. One of the things that they can do is to continually kick those field goals. If Evan McPherson yet again goes in and kicks 4 or 5 field goals and then eventually kicks a game winner, it's going to be hard for everybody that's deciding who the MVP of the game is and not give it to the guy that scored the most freaking points.
Right.
So and you can get it at amazing odds. I'm sure you can get it at probably a couple thousand.
You can make all kinds of different bets.
A couple thousand to one. You probably get that a couple thousand to one. And
right.
So I'm gonna throw a little bit of money on it. I do think Evan McPherson could win the Super Bowl MVP.
There you go. Now I want to get to Dennis's comment here. He said, I think it's going to come down to which quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes. And exactly. And my money is on Jackpot Joey Burrow because Matthew Stafford has made mistakes in this playoff run already. We already discussed the lame ducks he's thrown that should have been picked off by the
Yep.
49ers. And I think this ball hawking secondary, he throws that up the way Jesse Bates is playing, and Von Bell and Cheetah Bay and Eli Apple. They're at least going to knock them down, or they're going to catch them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm one of the things that I'm finding very interesting because I'm reading your comments here. I'm getting told to shut my mouth, which I understand. I get it. Trust me, I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
5 touchdowns. Samuel's throwing it out, baby.
Like,
I'd
love it. I would love that. Trust me, I would. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think this is going to be a game where, again, it's going to come down to the kicking game, and it's going to come down to who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. And like you said, Joe Burrow has made the least amount of mistakes out of anybody in the playoffs. And that's why when you listen to Colin, as you call him, Cowhead, even though I like Colin Cowherd because I feel like he speaks more truth than people give him credit for. But that being said, that's why he would pick Joe Burrow to be the MVP over Aaron Rodgers, who's probably going to win it. Because when it comes down to it in the most important games, Joe Burrow doesn't make a mistake. He doesn't. He's perfect. And even, again, on days where he's getting sacked 9 times, he's still leading that game.
Well, that's the thing. He's smart with the ball. He's taking the sacks. He'd rather take the sack, go, all right, and he gets right back up and says, all right, that's cool. We'll get you this next snap, or I'll get you next time I get the ball, Yep. So yeah, that's where I think he's been a lot smarter in the second half with taking the sacks instead of, he's not, I mean, yes, I would like him to throw the ball away and not lose the yardage. I hope he could do that. But I that's where I think he's been extremely smart. Now Rob here says, which could be. He said, how about Trey Henderson with 5 sacks for the MVP? Like I said, honestly, I don't really care who wins the MVP as long as my team wins the freaking Super Bowl.
Something that I feel like nobody's really talking about is the significant talent difference between the AFC and the NFC. And I feel like that's not really getting mentioned that much.
No,
the Rams, like I said, the Rams are a great. Yeah, right.
The
Rams are a great team.
Ridiculous. Go ahead,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. The quarterbacks in the AFC are ridiculous, and the teams in the AFC are ridiculous. But you look at the NFC, I mean, you had the Rams and the 49ers, who I know beat the Bengals in the regular season. Let's hold on to that. But the Niners had one guy. They had Debo.
You mean the Chargers and the 49ers, not the Rams. Chargers and 49ers. You said
no.
the Rams.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The Rams and the Niners were in the NFC Championship game.
Oh, I thought you said they beat the Bengals. Never mind. Sorry.
The Niners did beat the Bengals.
Yeah, I thought you meant the Rams did. Never mind. Keep going. Never mind.
Are you done, Jeff? Are you done?
This what happens when I read comments and I halfway pay attention to what you're saying. Go ahead.
But anyway, you look at where the NFC, where the path the Rams had to take and the path that the Bengals had to take. Arguably, definitely debatable. The Bengals' path was far harder, far worse, and they showed up brighter than the Rams did. And we talked about they almost blew it against Tampa, an old Tampa team.
I mean, the Rams won against the Cardinals, who I'm sorry, look like an old Bengals team that went to the 5 straight playoffs. They weren't even ready to play. So yeah, they blew them out. Then they played the Buccaneers, and then they played the 49ers, which honestly, I mean, we played, I guarantee you, if it was the 49ers and the Bengals, we would be favored in that Super Bowl. I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah, probably about 3.5. I would say that's probably where we're looking at that line. You brought the Cardinals. I have a take that I feel like nobody's going to like, and I think it gets tossed around a lot. And when we talk about AJ Green, and I see a lot of guys, a lot of people on social media talk about how great AJ Green was, and he was. I'm not saying he wasn't. However, he's not even close to where Chad Johnson or Jamar Chase will be. He's not even close. He's never been able to be on the field. He never showed up in bright lights. He was on it. Yeah, he was on teams that weren't as great, and he had Andy Dalton thrown to him. I get that. But what do great players do? They elevate everybody else around them. That's why Joe Burrow has elevated this team. AJ Green didn't do that. And so I feel like AJ Green's time in Cincinnati is way over romanticized. And I think we need to stop looking at comparing Jamar Chase to AJ Green or comparing T Higgins to AJ Green, because I personally think both Jamar Chase and T Higgins are better than AJ Green ever was. I think they will be, ever was. I personally.
I think Jamar Chase is going to be, and I'm not the only one that said this. Chris Collinsworth said this. Tim McGee.
I was going to ask you. Yeah.
He's going to be the best. He is already, I think, the best wide receiver in Bengals history. I mean, and that includes Isaac Curtis, who should be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, and T Higgins, yeah, I think those two are going. If we can keep both of them, they're going to be the best tandem. They have a chance to be the best tandem in football history. I mean, Sammy said on here before. I've compared Jamar Chase to Jerry Rice, and he says T Higgins is a lot like Megatron. To me, that's a great
That's
comparison.
accurate.
Yeah,
So it's accurate.
Right. We got both of
Yeah.
them on one team. That's ridiculous, dude. I mean, so
Mhm.
yes, I agree with you. And AJ Green and AJ Green, it showed up in the playoff game against the Cardinals. And I love AJ Green. Again, I'm not trying to bag on him, but I kind of agree with what you said. He doesn't show up in big time plays.
No.
But he shrinks. And
Mhm.
that's what is so cool about this team that we have now. They don't shrink.
They don't shrink.
There for the drama. They're there for all the bulletin board materials. They're there for everything. And none of that bothers them.
Yeah.
Rob here says, let me get in 15 years, when it's all said and done for Burrow, he will be the GOAT. Conversation in a large part because of the QBs. He will dominate the AFC. I agree with him. I really do think, and I was saying this last year, and you can ask my in-laws, if you ever meet any of my in-laws and my wife, that when we were down in Florida watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl last year, which we were at their house, I didn't go to the game.
Yep.
I kept telling them, I said, look, I'm telling you, Joe Burrow is going to be the next GOAT. They're like, yeah, wait, Joe Burrow, he's got a knee injury. He hasn't even done anything. I was like, look, I'm serious. This kid is that good. I mean, Peyton Manning's even said this, that Joe Burrow is farther ahead as far as his recognizing defenses and where to go with the ball in his second year than Peyton was in his second year. Yeah. Tom Brady said the same thing when he was on the Let's Go podcast, or when Jackpot was on the Let's Go podcast.
Yeah.
Those are two. One's already in the Hall of Fame. We know Tom Brady's going to go in the Hall of Fame. Those guys are already saying that Jackpot is ahead of them when they're the same age. I mean, this kid's going to be good. He's already good. And he's just scratched the surface.
Yeah, just looking at national media, and there is a narrative already that the chase is the chase for Brady's 7, and they talked about it. They said if Burrow's going to do it, he's going to start it this year. This is where he's going to start. Exactly. Is this year and right now, and this is where Brady won his first Super Bowl. So they're already calling for Burrow to be the one out of a class of quarterbacks that is incredible. Like something we have never seen before in the game of football. And everyone wants to compare the quarterbacks of this class to the last class. This class, it's not even a comparison. This class is far better than those quarterbacks ever were. They're already talking about Joe Burrow being the one to chase Brady and make it. And which, I guess take 7 rings.
I mean, if it makes it, I have no idea. But I mean, I think there's a very good chance.
I have an idea.
We're getting at least 4. I really do think that if everybody stays healthy, and we're not having major injuries with anybody, I think we're getting at least 4. And 4, like Josh, 4 used to be the standard. If you got 4, you were that was unbelievable. Nobody had more than 4. Tom Brady's got 7. Yeah. I mean, I read a stat the other day that he was in the AFC Championship game, I think 10 or 12 out of his 22 years he played, or 20 years he played in the AFC. That's ridiculous. I mean, if the Bengals could go on a run like that, that'll be unfreaking believable. And with the power, that the talent that they have on this team, and you have Joe Burrow, I think there's a shot. If they get there, I have no idea. I mean, that's a big get. But we got a shot. And if he wins it this year, when he wins it this year, everybody's going to be talking about that. And the thing is, too, Josh, I don't think that's going to bother Joe. Because for me, like, I think, we all want Joe to get into these commercials and do all.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
A lot of people do. I don't think Joe's going to do that. I don't think that's his mentality. I don't think he cares. I think he's more about football. I think he's more closer to Tom Brady about football, and he might do some here and there, but he's never going to be a big commercial guy. He's more about getting better, getting his team better, getting Super Bowl wins, getting those rings. And once he gets a taste of it, they're going to keep doing it. I mean, he's been known for a legendary ping pong player down there at LSU. I mean, the guy competes all the time. He competes in video games with his friends. That's what Jimmy Burrow was saying on Ace and Zim's show the other day. He's always competing. When you have guys like that who always compete and most time win, and one of them's your quarterback, and he's probably the best young quarterback in football right now, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. It is pretty good. Now, real quick, Ice. I just saw two comments, and I just want to address them real quick. It's about the AJ Green
Mhm.
thing. Can you put up Brandon Whodare 85s where he says, "Get yep." So Brandon says, "Get where you are, coming from Josh, but it's hard for a receiver to elevate everyone else." Totally fair, and that's 100% accurate. That is correct. However, he can't elevate if he's on the sideline. AJ Green will not be in games. He missed an entire 2019 season. He was the definition of injury prone. And he couldn't be out on the field. And the best ability is availability. And he just was not there. So that's the Brandon. So again, but that's fair. That is 100% fair. All right. So then can you go to Rod Duncan's comment where he says we can bash Palmer? Okay,
There you go.
perfect. So Rob says we can bash Palmer all we want, but he was pretty much twice the quarterback Andy Dalton was. Now, a lot of people want to trash Dalton, and look, there's a lot of times where Dalton was not good and sometimes downright abysmal. But if you remember let's remember back here. Andy Dalton took a team that limped into the playoffs twice, and he had a 5-year stretch where he did take him to the playoffs. And you go to 2015, if he doesn't break his hand against the Steelers, he was having I don't know if you remember an
Yes,
MVP
MVP
year.
year.
He
Yes, I've
was
said
he
that
was
lots of times. Yep.
in the conversation for MVP. So the idea that Dalton was this horrible quarterback and AJ Green didn't have anybody throwing it to him, it's just not true. Personally, now
Yeah.
Palmer was better. I will say that Palmer was better, but
Well, one thing about Palmer,
I will say, yeah.
I said this on my show a couple times, and people
And
always say,
AJ Green did quit. Rob, you are correct on that. AJ did quit. He did.
Where's that?
Sorry, he did. He quit. He quit on his team. Sorry. All right, please go ahead.
Well,
I'm
one thing
sorry.
you're way ahead of me. Oh, there it is.
You're right. I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're
right.
good. You're good. But one thing I'll say about Carson too is people always get on him about the later years and how he wasn't as accurate. Everybody's like, yeah, he was never the same after he got his knee injury, which I don't believe. I it wasn't his knee injury; it was when he hurt his shoulder in Cleveland. I think he opted to not get surgery and he rehabbed it, and that's where I think that he lost his accuracy and stuff. Because I mean, look, there were times when Palmer was going that people are saying he's they're talking to him about him the same way we're talking about Joe Burrow. So I mean, it were times where and nobody ever talked about Andy like that, and I do think Andy gets a bad rap. I do think like 2015 team if he doesn't break his thumb, which if he doesn't throw a damn interception, he doesn't break his thumb.
Yeah.
But
Yep. No, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Like I said, I'm an Andy fan. I was always
Andy
one
fan.
that had his back because my thing with Andy Dalton was, okay, you guys don't want him, great. Who are you gonna get? And everybody say, well, we got Joe Burrow. I'm like, yeah, we had to suck for 3 years
for a while
to get the number one pick.
And we almost didn't freaking get it when we went to overtime with the damn Dolphins.
I know.
How does that happen?
Dude, that was the only time
onside kick
I have ever rooted against the Bengals. Dude, I thought that game, I was down in Florida. I was watching the game at B-Dubs with my father-in-law. And I thought the game was over. I'm like, all right, we'll go pay the bill. I went to use the bathroom, whatever. And I came back and I'm like, where'd you go? And he's like, come here. And he's standing there by the TV. He's like, this onside kicked it. They might win this. I'm like, who? He goes, the Bengals. I'm like, what? No. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Oh my God. I'm like, I want to get Joe Burrow, please. I'm like, oh, when they end up losing, I'm like, oh, thank God. I said, I'll never root against you guys again, but this is huge to get Joe Burrow. Like, I'm like, oh, man. And everybody's like, was making fun of me, like, why are you freaking out about this guy, Joe Burrow? I'm like, have you seen him play? I mean, my buddy Billy, he's been on the show. Well, he went on the show like a couple years ago. He doesn't go on anymore. But he was there when I watched the Alabama game. And I started going, dude, we got to get that guy. That's who that's when the Bengals were losing. I said, I want to lose the rest of the games. I want to get Joe Burrow. And look what's happened. I mean, you get that quarterback. You have that toy. You have that elite passer. You have that guy, jackpot, ice water in his veins. You have the Joe Montana, the Tom Brady. You can win a lot of Super Bowls. You can win more than one.
Ice, do I have time for one more question for you?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Okay, so I got one more question for you because I mean we could talk about because I mean obviously one of the biggest things this year was the Ring of Honor, and that's something that again like through all the success it kind of got buried a little bit because it happened earlier in the season. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You look at the offense, you can pretty much guess who has the best chance to go
right
to
now,
be on the Ring of Honor. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Who on this defensive team right now could you see being on the Ring of Honor?
Ooh. Well, who has a chance? I would
Who has a
say
chance to
a
be?
chance to be on there. I mean,
Who
if
would you
you-
say out of everybody? You would say there's going to be one player in this team that's going into the Ring of Honor on this defensive staff is going on the Ring of Honor. Who would you say it would be? They're giving
Ooh,
you this
see.
power. I don't know who would give you this power.
I would have. See, there's three. This is why I can't look at the comments. Like, there's three guys that I would say, and this is where I have a hard time deciding.
I'm not
One,
saying three. I'm saying one.
I know.
Give me one.
I'll give you my three, and I'll pick one out of three.
Comments. You go ahead and say yours. Is this current defense? No, it's this current defensive team.
Current
It is
defensive.
this team here. That's
this
playing
team
the
here.
Super Bowl.
This year's team. I would say right now, you got to say Sam Hubbard,
Okay.
Trey Henderson, and Jesse Bates. Well, those would be the three that I
Those are
would
three.
I would say. But out of those three, depending on if they keep going as the direction they went this year, as far as big numbers go and Pro Bowls and stuff like that, I would say as of right now, I would think Trey Henderson, just because of the sacks and the pressures and
The numbers.
and the numbers. But I think personally, all three of them have a chance to be in there.
Yeah.
But as far as, because it's a numbers driven thing, I mean,
Yeah, it
everybody
is.
talks about numbers and all that stuff. So as far as that goes, that's who I would say right now. I mean,
Right now.
we got a long time before that happens.
Mhm. I got a sleeper pick. I'm going to say Logan Wilson. I think Logan Wilson. I think out of everyone wants to talk about how Joe Burrow was the biggest Pro Bowl snub, and he was the biggest Pro Bowl snub. I would say for the defensive side is definitely got to be Logan Wilson. If he doesn't get injured,
he didn't get injured,
he's having one of the best career or best single seasons that a Bengals linebacker has ever had. And
if he did not get injured, he would have been in there. I think
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
And
really
he doesn't
do.
have the sexy plays, but he has the plays that matter the most.
Dude, he's intercepted the ball how many freaking times? I mean, he missed how many games he missed? 2, 3?
Yeah. He had 5 interceptions. He was leading the NFL in interceptions. The middle linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals was leading the league in interceptions, I believe, through like week 7.
Yes. I think you're right. That's the thing is, if he didn't get injured,
that's what I would say.
Yeah, if he didn't get injured, I definitely think he would make it. And yeah, that's not a bad one either. I mean, there's so many guys. I mean, it's such a. I mean, we're talking 20 years down the road.
Yeah, you can make an argument for pretty much everybody on the team. You really could. Yeah.
So I mean, like DJ Reader. Some people are saying DJ Reader in here, and I think DJ Reader. The thing with him is, I don't know. Well, see, he could. The thing is, once the Bengals start winning more consistently, like they're going to, we're going to get more players in the Pro Bowl. It's just going to happen. It's just the way it goes. The better teams get the more Pro Bowlers, so they're going to get more recognition. So I think that's where that'll happen too. Where you get the Pro Bowls, you get the recognition. You get the Logan Wilson, that dude. From other teams, that dude's a baller. DJ Reader, that guy's a baller. That's where it'll come out as Ring of Honor players. And what you need is I think he's going to lead to more Hall of Fame players, at least for this team. Now, hopefully, how cool would this be, Josh? This is what I'm hoping. Now, I think tomorrow night they're doing the NFL Honors show where they do all the awards and everything. And I keep seeing it on the commercial that they announced the last year's Hall of Fame members. I'm hoping they do that this year. And to me, it just seems like Willie Anderson is getting in this year. I believe that in my heart. I mean, I thought Ken Riley or Ken Anderson were going to get into. That didn't happen, which was a complete sham. But just with everything's gone for the Bengals this year, it's been the Bengals year. We're in the Super Bowl. Willie Anderson should already be in the Hall of Fame. I think there's a really good chance that we're going to hear his name, and I hope it comes out on the NFL Honors. I'm not sure if that's what they do. I thought they did it the night before the Super Bowl, but that's coming out Thursday night, so I don't know. But what's your thoughts? What do you think your chances are of Willie getting in this year?
I think it's a sham that he's not already in. Giving up 16 sacks in 14 years of playing again on a team that as bad as the Bengals was
for most of his career. Yeah,
I mean that's a Hall. I mean, what else do you need? Honestly, what else do you need? And I think this would be a perfect year to do it. This is a perfect year to do it. So I think Willie's ability to get into the Hall of Fame is going to be very, very, very good. and it's a very good chance we're going to be announcing him as the next Ring of Honor inductee next year.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the thing. And NFL, it's a business. We all know it's a business. They like stories.
Business,
It's a
money,
business. They like stories. They like teams that are on the comeuppance. That they can promote and make money with. So putting one of their legends in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, being the second member of the Hall of Fame, will be a great story and moneymaker for the NFL. Because, dude, if Willie gets in there, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I'm going to watch that, and there's gonna be so many Bengals fans there.
You want to talk about Bengals fans? How about just the jungle to the hall that Jim and Tony and a bunch of our lovely Bengals Twitter people already did? I got to tell you, that didn't do nothing. It really didn't do nothing.
No, it got the word out there
to make some noise about it. And again, this goes back to all the way, and you tie it up so nicely with the boat, Jeff. That's why I love you so much. But you tie it up so nicely with the boat, and it brings it all the way back to how great this community really is. And how much we do support this team, and how much we love this team, and how much we support each other. That so much. I mean, have you ever heard of another? Now, it is fair that we are in Ohio. It's 4 hours for us.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of another team really doing anything like that, holding kind of like a protest outside of the Hall of Fame because our players aren't getting in?
Yeah.
Who would have? I mean, that's amazing.
It's ridiculous. I mean, we only got one.
We only got one.
I mean, Isaac Curtis should be in. Lamar Parrish should
Ken
be in.
Riley.
Ken Riley should be in.
Easy
Ken
one,
Anderson should be in. I could go on and on and on. These guys should be in. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're unfortunately they're not all going to get in. I mean, Isaac Curtis is an absolute joke. Why he's not in? They literally changed the rules in the NFL because guys could not cover him. Yeah. They literally changed it. I mean,
hell, Chad should be in too. I mean, the numbers don't lie. He's got a ring. There's no other reason. There's no reason why he shouldn't be there. And you would talk about guys that have changed the game.
Right.
You talked about it. Isaac Curtis. They had to change the game. Chad Johnson. He changed the game. He made the Bengals cool again. That's what he did. So I mean, it's a sham that we only have one player.
And like I said, I think with the becoming a winning organization and always being in the playoff mix for at least next 5 to 10 years, I think is going to change that. My opinion. But it all starts this Sunday when the Bengals beat the Rams. I cannot freaking wait. This has been the longest damn week of my life.
Let's go.
We got 4 days.
Go, man. Let's go. We're playing in the freaking Super Bowl.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna be able to sleep Saturday night. It's gonna be ridiculous. I cannot wait till Sunday. I can't wait to come back, or when they come back, I'll be down there at Paul Brown Stadium cheering them on, welcoming them back, win, lose, or draw. But I think we're gonna win this. Josh, tell everybody about your podcast, your articles, and all that stuff.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? So, obviously, if you listen to Jeff, you've probably heard me a couple of times, but if you have not, welcome to the Back Row. You can follow me on Twitter at Back Row Bengals. You can go find my podcast, The Back Row Cincinnati Bengals Show, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. You can also find my YouTube channel, which is also The Back Row Cincinnati Bengals Show. Really appreciate that. We're really trying to build up that YouTube up a little bit because that's where we can get our comments, and that's where we can get really, really good engagement, and I'm able to see your comments during live podcasts. So I would love to do that. Yeah, kind of like we do here. Right, exactly. So go because I see you guys watching my Twitter. I mean, I get great Twitter numbers, but I mean, come on, where's the downloads? Where's the engagement? Come on. Anyway, but anyway, you can find me there. And then also I'm gonna start doing this. It's probably a little too late. I tried to do it last night. But it didn't quite
I still
work.
know how to do it.
I'm gonna try to.
I'm very asleep. I don't even know how to do it still.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to start doing more Twitter Spaces. Those look like fun, and they look like I get a good chance to talk to all of you guys. So I think I'm gonna try to start doing that more. Now I tried to do it last night, and I went through, and I thought like when you invited somebody, it meant that they can join, and that was it. But instead, I ended up DMing like 15 people at 11:30 at night. And like, because they all have like normal jobs and stuff. So like,
I don't
I'm
have
like
a normal job, but I was already asleep, dude. I was already out.
I'm like sitting there back of my phone. I'm like literally in my bed. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And then Jungle Journal was on for like 30 seconds, didn't speak, and then just left. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm done. I'm going to bed. That's it. I'm done. Anyway, but that's where you can find me, Jeff. Man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I can't wait to talk to you after the season.
Absolutely, brother. Who day?
Rudy! Kick me off.
I'm trying to kick you off. I got too many things on my screen. There, get out of here. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Go check out Josh. He does it on fansaturday.com. See, the cool thing is I got all this stuff on my screen right now. Josh usually does something weird, but I can't see him because it's down below. So you can keep doing whatever you're doing, Josh. I can't see you. But check him out. His podcast, Back Row Bengals. He writes articles. It's on there, and then he writes articles through whatever he said it was. Oh, Hype Stripe. That's what it is. Anyway, so Dennis, I know a couple people asked me about Jeremy. And I'm messaging his dad to see how he's doing. And let me read, because he had surgery today. Let's see here. Okay. He had surgery today. And this is from his dad. He said, great. He has a drain tube in his back, but other than that, great. So Jeremy seems like the surgery went well. He's doing good. So just keep the thoughts and prayers out there for Jeremy D, my boy. And hopefully he will recover from this back surgery and get back to normal life. I know I actually got to talk to him the other day on the phone, and he was worried that he'd still be in the hospital during the Super Bowl, which I think there's a very good chance he's going to be because he just had surgery today and the Super Bowl is Sunday. But that's going to suck if he watches it at home. But anyway. Oh, Josh wants me to come back on. What do you want?
I
What do you want?
forgot I write blogs too. So yeah, it's fansided.com. It is it's the Bengals side, the stripehype.com side, which Jeff got freaking wrong. Of course he did. But anyway, he says he reads my stuff. Yeah,
I do. I read it. I read it. I don't know where it's on.
Sham that is
everywhere.
Sham that is. Anyway,
dude, you get Twitter stuff. Oh, Josh, okay, cool. And I just start reading the article. I don't know where it's from.
All right. I appreciate that. Anyway, there should be a new blog coming out before the Super Bowl starts. All right, now you can get me off.
Now get out of here. So anyway, Jeremy, like I said, seems to be doing pretty good. So anyway, again, Friday. If you guys can watch CBS Sports Network, Boomer Esiason and Gio will be wearing their Jackpot Joey stuff, which is really cool. They are down with the Jackpot Joey stuff. I know Maddie is supplies are limited. He is trying like crazy to get more shirts and hats and stuff in. So if you guys have ordered stuff, it's coming. He will get it to you as fast as he can. But like I said, supplies are limited right now. It's a one-man operation. I think I'm going to go down and help him pack some stuff up next week. But make sure you guys check it out at jackpotjoey9.com. All the proceeds, portions of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. And then, like I said, check out my man, Zim. I put his website in the comments at the top of the comments here on the chat crew. Check him out. He's got a whole lot of orange. You got the baby burrows, a whole bunch of cool stuff there. Check his stuff out too. So trying to help my man out. He helped me out by asking Jimmy Burrow which one he likes better, and Jimmy Burrow likes Jackpot Joey. So that is awesome. Anyway, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They are Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home, Bearcat Country, Bearcat Ruckus, Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Cave. I keep saying the Ice Cave. The Ice Bar. I didn't even mess up my own Facebook group. The Ice Bar. And then you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle, like I said, it's at Jeff A. Trunable. I'm over 2,000 followers, which is unbelievable. That is awesome. If you're watching on Twitter or you're watching on Facebook and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Help me out. Go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button. Hit the bell for notification. And every time I go live, be notified. And it just helps me out. You can still watch it on Twitter. Just subscribe there. Excuse me. This dry air is killing me. Now, if you are a podcast person, I will be pulling this sound off later on, put it on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. Leave a comment so more Bengals and Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, YouTubers, like I said, I'm at 1,490. I would love to get to 2,000. That's why it's killing me. I got so many people following me on Twitter. I'm like, that's awesome. Go subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. I'd appreciate it. Tell your friends, say neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. And other than that, as my boy who is mending in the hospital, Jeremy D likes to say, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who Dey? Keep Jeremy in your thoughts and prayers. He's going to get through this. I know he is. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who Dey, we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who Dey, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers at the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who Dey? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who Dey in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who Dey muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who Dey, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em. Bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast on feast and know. Who Dey rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show